Welcome back to BRIMS documentation. This time we're going to take a look at DrawSchedule. If you're unfamiliar with this concept, if you have multiple studies, well, sometimes you'll have a patient, they'll be associated, or they'll be enrolled in multiple studies. Each study runs a little bit differently. They might want to draw things on different dates. One might want urine, the other one might want hair, so on and so forth. And they might draw it on different timelines, and this enables that concept. Mostly it is just, currently I just need to rewrite, a lot of this needs to be rewritten, but I ran into the problem here where I decided to use this was again early on, I decided to use a JSON object as the underlying thing, which I realized was a bit of a mistake later on. So right now you can see I've actually already written event model. This will be utilized later on, but here instead what I did is there's a Postgres specific field called a JSON field that you can insert into the database. And really I should have instead constructed a nice event model and some other things, and so I'm probably going to end up rewriting this backend portion. As far as the front end code, it's actually not that bad. It's pulling in props. I do have to destructure the JSON object, and it'll probably look pretty much the same. We just take the schedule keys, the specimen types associated as well, and then just go ahead and dump it in to this table row and header. Unfortunately, let's see if I can pull up the GraphQL call of the object itself. Is it all schedule? I'm trying to remember what I called it. All shipments, all. Let's look at the queries. That'll tell us. All schedules. So yeah, it's all schedules. All schedules. When it pops out, what else are our options here? Schedule type, name. So if we actually pull the schedule is where, yeah, it actually pulls out the JSON. And again, I could have written this to push back a graphene object and make the entire thing look a little bit less messy on the back end. But on the front end, it's actually pretty clear. Once I do that back end rewrite, I'm going to add the two mutations. And honestly, I don't think I need to touch the front end code all that much. I think it's pretty clear. Eventually what the order, you can see I had the order field right there. That'll just depict what order these are in. The event itself can be named whatever you want it to be. Different organizations will name things different things. So for example, some groups for their very first visit will call that week 1, others will call that week 0. Some people say that's baseline. Sometimes people call it the preliminary visit. This allows the flexibility. You can call it whatever you want according to what your specific study schedule looks like. And then this just keeps track, and this gets associated with a patient, and that way you'll know what specimen should be being drawn and when with the patient. And I haven't gotten that linked in logic yet either. That's after I'm done with shipping, that's probably the very next thing I'm going to work on here. But overall, pretty clean view. Next, and actually probably the easiest one to contribute to if you wanted to contribute someplace. Really easy edits there. Next, we're going to take a look at patients, the concept of patients and what's happening here. I needed to get DrawSchedule out of the way first because DrawSchedules are something that are associated with patients, just to keep everything nice and clear. Because what's the point of having a patient if you don't know what specimen you're pulling from them, right? Wow, that sounds so cruel and distanced, whatever. Moving on to the patients portion. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that needs to be covered after patients. I think after patients I'll talk about what needs to be done if you want to help contribute.